Hello and welcome back to Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. It is time for us to head in to the House of Silken Shadows to speak to Nocticula. There's an awful lot that we need to do here and it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's go in. Let's see what she has to say for herself. It's looking to me from this picture like it's probably going to just be a throne room and not like a full dungeon area, which is interesting. So it could all just be one conversation and that just advances the plot. Yeah, look at this. It's just one singular throne area. Yeah, so I think we're about to just have a conversation. I'm going to hold down tab so we can see everything. Ooh, we got some lower world, or some, knowledge world. The ink on the page is, the ink on the page is still wet. The book tells of the murderous massacre committed by the Lady in Shadow among the Colossus demons of the Midnight Isles. It seems it happened quite recently. Ooh, that's good. I hate fighting them. The tall shelves are stuffed with countless books and scrolls praising the Lady in Shadow's many deeds. Some tomes are old and threadbare, others are new and in mint condition. Okay. Keep moving forward. These side rooms? There are side rooms here. Okay. Maybe I judged this place too quickly. This looks like it opens up. The Lady in Shadow, the Queen of the Midnight Isles, Lady Nocticula, Demon Lord of Darkness and Lust. So she's going to be there. What's in the side rooms? Oh, this just like straight up opens all the way to places. You fine with me just wandering? Okay. Projector. And another one of these? Another Midnight Bolt, huh?
Might be trap, might be treasure.
A pile of sketches. The drawings depict fragments of various rituals that lead to the opening of rifts and portals. Is this Areelu Vorlesh's laboratory? Books written in multiple languages. The titles that can be translated are dedicated to the research of the nature of souls. The Lexicon of Paradox Part 2? Wait a second. The last one not get us the power buff? It did, yeah. Okay. Key to the last threshold. Many mortal researchers have ventured to turn their scientific curiosity on the phenomenon that is the Worldwound, noting that it appears to have a life of its own. Strange natural phenomena, spontaneously aspiring ruptures, unique vegetation, and living creatures found neither in Golarion nor in the Abyss. Everything is constantly in flux, appearing and disappearing at unpredictable intervals. Through this movement and alteration, if not through its order, one can detect the logical functioning of the organs of a living being. The truth is that, indeed, the Worldwound possesses a semblance of life, and its very structure presupposes a connection to a living soul. Interesting. This line of reasoning sometimes leads me to unscientific implications. Namely, if the creation is in essence a reflection of its creator, then can we say that the Worldwound is a reflection of my soul? The Worldwound was created and then improved, and at the same time a being of duality was cobbled together from the essence of the Abyss and the essence of a mortal soul. Normally this process requires an essence taken from a creature with strength comparable to that of an ethereal or abyssal lord, but there are ways to circumvent this requirement, in particular through the use of the Naharindian crystal's rare power. Okay, so it is through the use of an abyssal lord, just a dead one. In this section, I refer to this being as the key, an instrument that allowed me to significantly expand and strengthen my original creation. Due to her dual nature and connection to the Worldwound, the key was given the opportunity to obtain amazing powers. However, everything has a price. The Worldwound is linked to the key, but the key is also linked to the Worldwound and carries it in her soul like a deadly affliction. This affliction is indeed fatal. The duality of the soul grants amazing powers and primes the soul's owner for transformation and for the bestowing of incredible abilities, but this duality is also slowly killing the soul's owner. This is a problem I have yet to solve. Huh. Okay, so this is obviously talking directly about us. So a being of duality was cobbled together. Normally it requires this. So would this imply that our character was created as part of the Worldwound creation process? Okay, and through the use of the Naharindian crystal. I see, it means we're slowly dying, and basically what it does is it makes your soul available to then receive a mythic power of some kind. It doesn't, you know, specifically give you the power, it just puts your soul in the right position to make it happen. Interesting. Well, use. Ooh. The second half of the Lexicon of Paradox lies before the commander. Many mortal researchers have ventured to turn their scientific curiosity on the phenomenon that is the Worldwound, noting that it appears to have a life of its own. The secrets of the architect of the Worldwound laid bare. All that remains is to absorb them, make sense of them, grasp their true nature. The letters written by the hand of Areelu Vorlesh appear to have a life of their own. A moment's inattention and they begin to disperse, changing shape and moving towards the edge of the page, as though they are planning to leap off. Focus on the text. The Minday's attention focuses on a couple of words that seem to have just swapped places. The words freeze as though they never moved at all. Out of the corner of her eye, the commander sees several words on the other side of the page begin a discreet game of leapfrog. Set aside the Lexicon of Paradox. Use. Huh. Interesting. So that doesn't seem to do anything yet. So maybe we need something else to make the book work? Huh. That's intriguing. Or maybe we need the other half of the lexicon, which we gave to the queen. Huh. Projector. As you know, my dear addressee, given the scope of the planes, time is a relative concept, and in the abyss it can be even more unreliable. Therefore, I do not allow myself the vain hope that my message will reach you in time. I'm waiting for the next part. I don't think we can skip this because it's not an actual cutscene. So I think we have to wait. And we have to, okay. Your final question was about the possibility of a complete awakening of the memories of a mortal soul within a soul that has already passed through Pharasma's judgment. I will send you the research on all cases of which I am aware where such an awakening took place. Awakening of the memories of a mortal life within a soul that's already passed? So trying to awaken memories of a dead person, basically? Is this implying that we were dead? Wait, why are we... Okay, we'll get to that in a second. Despite the fact that this list is quite extensive, my conclusion is that all such recorded cases are the rarest exception to the rule. With the absolute majority of souls, an occurrence such as this cannot happen. I was just trying to figure out why our colour had changed here. I think it might be stone skin. Yeah, I think it's stone skin. Let's not worry about it. I was thinking for a second there it was a lexicon. Both the wonder and tragedy of mortality lie in the fact that there is a certain moment after which the process is final and irreversible. The essence of the parts of the judgment of the Lady of Graves is no longer what it was in life, and we as scientists must account for this in the system of knowledge we are constructing. So they're trying to find a way of extracting knowledge from those who are passed on. Okay. Interesting. It's a long sentence. We're just giving it time to move on to the next part. I'm assuming there's one last line. No, that's it. Huh. This do anything for us? No. The lexicon does nothing for us at all. Huh. Wait a second. So now if I read this, are these things in a different order? No. Huh. I'm not sure what we're meant to do with that. It seems like a puzzle which is unsolvable. Mainly because there's only 3 buttons we can press. Okay. Well, that was unexpected. What's in here? More rooms. Let's just go in and ransack them. Yeah, we'll have that. Why not? Anything else in here? No. Our perception skill is so high that we should, in theory, just find everything everywhere. So, I'm quite happy to just wander in and be like, we found it. As I was saying, we should be able to just find everything everywhere. An emerald. Cool. Take the lock.
I finished here.
Ooh.
Is there more?
This one, we'll have it. Take the lock. Dinosaur bone and some money. Okay. So nothing else is here. There's a guard, which we don't need to worry about. I wonder whether we can give the lexicon to somebody for like a, trade it in for the mythic stuff. Nothing here. There's some side passages, but they appear to just lead to the main passage, I think. We can try this, but I think they all lead into here. Yes, so they all lead to the exact same place. Well, it's time to speak to Nocticula. Just being very careful. Hello.
Greetings.
Oh. Well, maybe we could ask her about the lexicon. A stately shadow comes towards you. In its hands, a small mirror sparkles and shimmers with an unsettling light.
Greetings, Commander.
Oh, hello. Well, fancy seeing you here. I have a lot of questions for you.
You are looking for answers. That's good. That is why I am here. I have much to tell you. You have walked a long path, one where shadows constantly flicker at the edge of your vision, and questions multiply like flies above carrion. It is time for answers. At least, some of them.
Areelu lifts her mirror, and you fall into its cold, shimmering depths. Oh. Okay.
Day 16, Aridus 4715. Experiment, transformation. Subject, let's skip that. Objective, to embed the essence of a Nahindrian crystal in the soul of the subject. Expected result, the essence will coalesce with the subject's soul, which will ready itself for total transformation, triggering the concomitant powers. The time has come to put my plan into action.
Huh.
You are my creation. Your power was my gift. Now you know.
Okay. I have a question. If her power is due to our soul being mixed with these crystals, how do our companions gain that same power? Now, obviously they don't gain the full power that we gain, but they gain, like, the residual effect of it. Maybe we just give off an aura or something. Maybe it's, similar to how it was in KOTOR, where it's like, you got the power due to a link in the Force, something like that, right? It's because they're linked to you in some way. But that seems like an unsatisfying answer. Anyway, Areelu stares at you, her gaze unrelenting, probing. The witch is silent for a long time. When she speaks, her voice is unreadable, betraying no emotion. Alright, I mean, what she's told us seems true. Let's say I believe you. Why did you need to do all this?
You are asking the right questions, but the time has not yet come.
Oh.
Ah, such special memories. Remember the laboratory, do you? I told you back then. Go on, look around. See all the ones Lady Areelu worked on. Here with us is definitely the place for you.
The unseen angel does not speak, but his silence seems like thunder in your ears.
Your power is of the same kind as that of Nulkaneth, Jeribeth, and the other demons that you have met. The power of the Nahindrian crystal dissolved into the blood lies within your soul. I have already hinted at this to you once before, when I left the essence along with the lexicon of paradox in my old laboratory, and ordered the suture to make sure the gift found its way into your hands. But there is more. Do you remember when you were taken to Canobris with a wound that would not heal? Do you remember how Terendelev apparently healed you? That was merely an illusion. The dragon was only able to temporarily dull the pain. In fact, it was I who saved you, when I came to you in the caves and implanted a crystal within you. No, saved is not the right word. Your wound is still not healed. That is why your wound weeps blood from time to time, every drop of which burns your enemies.
Okay, so we had the wound. We were then taken into... She then dropped us in Canabras. We went to Terendelev. Terendelev dulled the wound. Deskari attacked. We then fell to the bottom of a pit. She's then saying she then stuck a crystal in there and then it sort of healed it, but not really. So I'm guessing... So what I don't understand is why why we went to Terendelev in the first place, right? Like, why did we need to be there? Could she not just given us the crystal? Like, before then? Okay. Ow. As if to confirm her words, blood begins to seep from the wound on your chest. Eerie flames seem to dance within the crimson drops. Okay.
This is pure essence of Nahindrian crystal. My invention is far superior to the crystals used by Xanther, which were barely refined at all. It will give you new strength, and help you to overcome the wound that still slumbers within your soul. Take it. Take it, and you will see that this is the very power that has lived in you since the Battle of Canabras.
Okay, I'm going to.
Hey, are we doomed to... The chief shared her power with us, so does that mean we're cursed as well? How long do we have left? Say it ain't so. I'm too young to die so tragically.
Okay, I want her to tell me things, but she's not going to. I will not refuse this power, but I will decide how to use it. Yes, I can't see how this would go badly. Level up. You touch the essence, and the power, so familiar and clear, flows through you like a river. The power that courses through you is so immense, the wound on your chest closes up as if it had never existed.
Now you know. You truly know.
You're acting like this is a surprise, but we read it back in the previous room.
Enough! Enough of this madness! I was blind. O Lady of Heaven, how blind I was. I saw holiness in the half-fiend's creation.
Oh, are you about to kill me?
Away! Away from this festering hole! I must bring this terrible truth to Queen Galfrey, and save those who can be saved from this darkness!
The angel's voice fades, and you can no longer feel his presence. He has disappeared. Your actions undermined his trust. Oops.
We still have something to discuss.
Okay. Okay. Where do we start? What's this wound in my soul? How dangerous is it?
It was my mistake. My failure. I failed to... The tale is too long to recount here. Your wound is a reflection of the Worldwound in a way. It is very dangerous, even if you do not yet realize it. It is not a disease, but rather an abscess, which will one day burst and kill you. It cannot fully be healed until the Worldwound is healed.
Okay.
No doubt you have felt this affliction on several occasions. It awakens when you use your power. It makes you sense more strongly what mortals call the corruption of the abyss. Until the Worldwound is healed, you will have no peace.
So what was interesting about this bit is where she was like, it was my mistake, my failure, I failed to, this to me feels like there's a little bit of remorse in what she's saying. I'm not sure. But it definitely seems like if it's not remorse, it's like it's either that or it's a reluctance to admit a mistake, as in to admit that she failed to do things correctly, or to tell us how she failed. Anyway, you followed me.
Of course. I even kept notes. I began my observations long before our meeting in Canabris. You were chosen and prepared for a special destiny. I am pleased to see that you still wear them. I enchanted them specially to protect you from danger. I am glad you found my gift useful.
Oh. Yes, you can't remember where you did you get the bracers with your name and the inscription I promise on them. It seems like you've always had them.
Aside from this, I helped you, even when you were unaware of my presence. I saved you and your unfortunate companions when you fell into the crevice in Canabris.
Yeah. Like our companions like Camellia. Okay, interesting choices.
In the Grey Garrison, it was I who distracted Minago to allow you to approach the Wardstone.
Also interesting that if she's saying she saved our companion, she also saved the Nevia and Sela, in theory. Although I guess the Nevia was underneath a rock, so wasn't really saved, but you get what I'm meaning. Like, she doesn't seem to just be purely acting in the demon's interest, which we kind of already knew.
And I also left you a present in my old laboratory, and told the Suture to see that you received it. I knew that sooner or later you would find your way there. That place exerts a powerful pull.
As it turned out, you helped me thwart the plans of your masters, Baphomet and Deskari. I'm 100% sure she's going to say I don't serve them.
They are not my masters. They are a resource.
Why was that whole ploy with the lab necessary? You even sacrificed your servant, the Suture, for it.
You always have to sacrifice something. I wanted you to go to the laboratory to see with your own eyes what I had been doing and what I am capable of, so it would be easier for you to accept the truth. The laboratory is the place where I prepared your ascent. And the Suture was the only one who I could trust to execute my plan and explain everything. After all, he too once experienced rebirth at my hands, and that is why I was willing to risk his life.
All you know is trickery and deceit. How can I trust you?
Honesty is a luxury we cannot often afford. I don't expect you to understand this now, but at least try to remember it for the future.
Tell me about Nehrindian crystals. Start from the beginning. You're going to effectively tell us the story we already know, but come on.
Nehindrian crystals are formed from the solidified blood of demon lords. Their properties are not well known, even among the inhabitants of the Abyss, and there are reasons for this. Acquiring the blood of a dead demon lord is very difficult. After a demon lord dies, their body is instantly absorbed into the Rift of Repose. Only the Lady in Shadow knows how to kill them in a way that allows her to preserve the bodies of her fellow lords and transform them into a solid state. That means that Nehindrian crystals cannot be obtained anywhere other than the Midnight Isles. Or rather, it was impossible until recently, when I managed to experimentally obtain a crystal from the blood of a still living lord. You saw the result. A dagger made from Deskari's freshly shed blood, which I left for you in Canabris. As regards the use of the crystals, that is a discussion that would take time, a very long time. Someday I will finish my groundbreaking treatise on the transformation of Nehindrian crystals, although it is unlikely I will ever publish it.
That line makes me wish I'd brought along Nenio, because I'm sure we would get a little bit of dialogue like, ooh, can I read it? Or something. She would just get shot down as always, but you know, that'd be cool. Also, so that kind of explains why she needed Deskari to attack, because she needed somebody to shoot the Midnight Bolt into Deskari, to then get the blood, to then make the crystal. Okay. And that happens either way. I think with this one, we did shoot him. But if you choose to not shoot him, then the Suture will shoot him. And the blood will come out either way. Okay, good to know, good to know. And the dagger is actually found in the same area that you find the Midnight Bolt, I believe. Okay, cool. So you figured out how to use the crystals to imbue living creatures with power.
Not just any creatures, demons and half-demons. The soul must have a stable connection with the abyss in order for it to receive the power of the crystal. Experiments involving tieflings and mongrels failed because the voice of the abyss was not strong enough within them.
But I'm not a demon.
I wasn't a demon either when I started. But there are always ways to circumvent, or even to override the laws of the universe.
Okay.
I changed myself by knitting my soul together with the essence of the abyss. And I changed you. Do you remember the fits of rage that began shortly after Deskari's attack on Canabras? This is how the second half of your soul manifested itself. Not yet fully aware. Not yet awakened. It's a pity you did not choose to let your demonic nature take hold. The result would have been most impressive.
Okay, so this would be interesting if you got here on the demon path, because I'm assuming that she would be like, oh yeah, we're demons together, doing it for the demon lords, you know. But, she's not that impressed right now.
All those arrogant crusaders, those knights with their eyes ablaze, those pious priests. They have installed at the head of their magnificent army a scion of the abyss, the creation of the architect of the Worldwound, whom they so revile.
I also assume that if you went angel, she would be a little bit more aggressive as well in this one. Like that, instead of it's a pity you didn't let the demonic nature take hold, I assume that she would be even more critical. Because ours is kind of like off to the side. But anyway. I'm assuming actually she might have things for a lot of them. Like Lich, I assume that she would have some kind of type of comment on. I would have thought she'd have a comment on Aeon anyway, but anyway, that's fine. It's strange to see you here in Nocticula's palace. Who do you really serve? Deskari? Baphomet? She already told us she doesn't, but I wanted her to say it.
Both. And neither. I have served both Deskari and Baphomet, and not merely as the lowest in the pecking order. But I do not think you'll be surprised when I tell you that to me, both of these mighty lords are merely convenient temporary sources of power. And their time is almost at an end. But the Lady in Shadow is different. She is the preeminent ruler. Soon you will understand this for yourself.
Okay, so she serves the Lady of Shadows directly? Or like she at least sees the Lady in Shadow as like a... She sees the Lady in Shadow as above herself, just firmly. While Deskari and Baphomet she sees as tools and resources, Lady in Shadow is very much, if not above her, at least an equal. Okay. My power is different than that of Jerebeth, Nulaketh, and the other demons.
Yes, because I taught Xanther and the other servants of Baphomet and Deskari the earliest version of this transformation ritual. I spent decades perfecting it until I obtained the power that I gave to you. Power in its most purified form, cleansed of the filth and chaos inherent within the original blood of the demon lords. Your power is as pure as thrice distilled water, but it resonates with other powerful sources of supernatural power, such as the Sword of Valor. And your power can change. You must have realized this already. You have shaped my gift into a form that you yourself have chosen.
So it's just kind of a coincidence that the Sword of Valor changed, although I suspect that she had a theory that it might.
You are seeking answers, trying to understand the crux of the matter. That is good.
Alright, well, we have to say it. Because every time we say this, we just get like a, yeah, no response. I see a glow emanating from your soul. You have committed a crime against the universal order, and I'm giving you a chance to repent, here and now.
I remember our first meeting. Many years ago, you suddenly appeared in my house, and then just as suddenly you disappeared. Years passed before everything fell into place, and I understood the meaning behind your appearance. I don't know what changes you have already wrought to bring this world about, but one thing will remain unchanged in any space-time continuum. I will not regret what I did, not for a moment.
Alright, I don't want to ask you about anything else.
I want to help you close the Worldwound.
Cool, we're on the same page. And that'll mean we won't die. Oh, hello. Areelu's words are cut off by a quiet laugh. Sitting on the throne that was empty just a moment ago was none other than Nocticula, ruler of Elutionera and the Midnight Isles, a powerful demon lord, and the one they call our Lady in Shadow. Her red lips curl into an ironic smile, and her large eyes observe you with keen interest.
You were about to say, we are going to close the Worldwound, weren't you, Aurelu? I see no reason to continue deceiving this mortal. Now, I am convinced that she is quite worthy of serving me. I will even reward her with a modicum of knowledge about the events in which she is about to take part.
I like this demon lord.
Greetings to you, Our Lady in Shadow.
Arushale? Why are you being quite so deferential?
It's nice to see that even surrounded by mortals, you haven't forgotten who your mistress is, Arushale. You may rise.
Has she been betraying us the whole time?
I didn't mean to. I don't know why I did it.
Oh, okay, that's fine. We have too many things to ask. Whoa. How do we even go for this? I have too many questions that demand answers. You've been sitting on your throne listening to us the whole time? How do we even go for this? You know what? I think we just nod. My greetings, Lady Nocticula.
Such an impenetrable face you have, mortal. It hides your heart well. I have had my eye on you for a very long time. You see, it was at my behest that Lady Vorlesh imbued you with such incredible powers. But I was curious to see your worth as an individual, not as Lady Vorlesh's creation. Thus, I decided to postpone our meeting and see how you'd fare in Elutionera, and whether or not you could win respect and power among those not so easily impressed by outstanding magical abilities. Well, you've passed my test adequately by proving that your character and your will are stronger than the Nahindrian powers Lady Vorlesh has vested in you.
Okay, so just as Monago turned out not to be the real bad guy, it seems that Nocticula is the real force and power behind Areelu.
You are wise, my lady. However, only those who have never known or forgotten what it is like to be mortal can so easily dismiss the importance of power. To be someone whose life is fragile and can be cut short at any moment, like a candle snuffed out by a gust of wind.
It is a shame your angel has left you, mortal. I would have liked to talk to him. I don't expect I will get another chance, as that celestial buffoon's days are numbered.
Oh, okay. So she definitely knew he was there. I kind of got the feeling somebody was going to call him out. But yeah, I wonder what would have happened if we hadn't taken the power. Would he have been around for this? Well, she might not have appeared because we didn't take the power. I don't know. Why do you think the Hand of the Inheritor is going to die?
Because he charged off all alone into the vastness of the abyss. An old friend awaits him there. The Echo of Deskari. And the Echo has been anticipating this meeting for a long time.
The Hand of the Inheritor told me his magic deceived the eyes of all evil spawn of the Abyss, but not yours?
Perhaps you don't know everything about me yet, mortal. Perhaps you made the same mistake as many before you, and many who were more insightful and more powerful than you, by presuming to know what to expect from the Lady in Shadow.
Maybe he does deceive the eyes of all evil spawn, but maybe she isn't evil spawn. Okay, tell me about the Echo of Deskari.
He is a strange creature, a bespoke creation, so to speak. Long before the Worldwound was opened, Deskari, that little cricket, was seeking a way to have some fun on Golarion and assert his influence there. One day, he decided to gather a few strong mortal followers, fuse them together into one being, and pump that being full of his own power, in the belief that something worthwhile would come of it. That is how the Echo came to be. To the great dismay of both the Echo and the Lord of Crickets, the Echo was greeted by Areelu, protector of humankind. Areelu gave the Echo such a thorough thrashing, the whole abyss thought him dead. And yet he was not. Cricket, the younger, is alive and well, though I cannot say the same for Areelu. But the Echo remembers his humiliation still. He hates anything and everything related to Areelu, especially his inheritor, Iomedae. Her heralds, her priests, her temples. He would hate Iomedae's pet pug, if she had one.
Why does the Echo of Deskari prey upon the hand of the inheritor? I mean, she just told us, but sure.
Envy, humiliation, ego. The usual playthings of little boys from all planes and realities. The Echo suffered more than one defeat, first at Areden's hand, then under the onslaught of the forces of heaven. Those routes taught him to attack his enemies by stealth, boldly and often, killing and crippling anyone close to the light-bringing goddess. Now, it seems, he has decided the time has come. The Herald of Iomedae himself is in the abyss alone, without a retinue of lesser angels.
I see.
He's an interesting little bird, that angel. Before he became the Herald of Iomedae, he served Regathiel, the General of Vengeance. I've always found the fate of that Imperial Lord to be quite fascinating. Did you know that the father of the Upper Plains' top military leader was a devil from hell?
Oh.
Regathiel had to achieve many feats to redeem his unholy legacy in the eyes of the other Imperial Lords. But he did. A remarkable tale, is it not?
It's definitely an odd one. Oh. Your conversation is interrupted by a concerned-looking succubus who silently approaches Nocticula and then begins fervently whispering into her ear. Nocticula's expression turns hard and cold. As Nocticula ponders the new development, the messenger makes eyes at you playfully. You recognize those green eyes, except they were awash with pain when you last saw them, their owner bleeding out in the caverns of the Nexus. The succubus smiles slyly and gives you a wink.
Another island, another loss. Enough! I warned them that I would not stand for the desolation of my realm. They have not heeded me, and they will regret it. Go to your sisters and tell them to prepare.
That green-eyed succubus, I know her.
Yes, you've already met Laulia, my talented assistant. I've heard she was very convincing at acting out her tragic death in the mines of the Nexus. As you can see, I've been watching you since your very first moments in the Abyss. And even a little earlier.
Oh yeah, when we murdered your person in the Midnight Fane.
I have prepared a beautiful intrigue that will topple many of your enemies and seal the Worldwound forever, ending the threat to Golarion. And you have the chance to become part of that intrigue.
I can't resist. My companion Ember would like to speak with you.
Ember? So that's her then? Well, approach. I have heard you bleating your pathetic prayers at me. You have some nerve addressing me with such nonsense. Did you think I would simply repent? Renounce my status as a demon lord? Do you have any idea what I had to do to acquire it? Wait, what is this?
Tears are rolling down Ember's cheeks as she sniffles noisily. She presses her maimed hands against her heart as she stares up at Nocticula. Her fragile form shudders from weeping. Areelu wrinkles her nose in disdain. Why have you brought this simpleton here? This is a Lucianera, not Nerosian. We don't give alms here.
I can't stand these noises. Do you think you're the first to try to move me with a display of tears? It only makes me angry. If you wish to speak, then wipe your nose and speak clearly.
I know what you had to do to others and to yourself. I'm so sorry. So sorry. If only I could ease your pain somehow. Calm your sorrows.
She believes that deep down everyone is good, even creatures that are evil by nature.
I don't know what nature is and don't care a whit about cosmic good and evil. They are but labels thought up by philosophers. I know what power is. Pleasure. Desire. All this childish babble merely amuses me. Nothing more. So, where were we? My pain? My sorrows? What nonsense are you talking? Don't tell me you pity me.
I'm so sorry. You're the most miserable soul I've ever seen. I've seen people burned alive. People being devoured by monsters. People burying their children. They were in pain. So much pain. But I've never seen anyone in as much pain as you.
What is this saccharine drivel? What do you even know of me, Nat?
I've seen your city. You were the one who built it. It is the way you wanted it to be. It holds all of your dreams, all of your heart, and everyone in this city is suffering. Everywhere, all the time, every minute. All who live here are hurting and scared. If these are its citizens, how miserable must its ruler feel?
And this is what you brought her to me for. You think this infantile sniveling is worthy of my attention?
What were we gonna say? Ooh. We could go for lawful. I kind of like what we're doing here. I doubt you will be able to understand her message. You're a demon. Of course speeches about goodness make no sense to you. Just like a casual little dig.
I am first and foremost myself. All who told me who I should be came to regret it. Leave it to windbag scholars to waffle on about how evil is unable to fathom the path of good. I may be a demon lord, but I understand perfectly well what goodness is. I understand it, and I despise it. So, what do you suggest I do, preacher? Beg the good gods' forgiveness? Devote myself to serving a sword-swinging upstart, perchance? Or that old crone, the moon?
No. Gods can't help anyone. They're just like us mortals. Silly, frightened, clueless. You're almost a goddess yourself. You know better than anyone that no one can save you. No one except you.
Save me? From what exactly?
From yourself. From what you've done to yourself. From the city you've imprisoned yourself in. Listen! You are a queen, but you're the queen of pain and filth. Your realm is a realm of your own suffering. You're almost a goddess. You can do anything you want. So why won't you make yourself happy? You could become the Redeemer Queen.
Let's see how that plays out, Ember. Gone well.
Oh, the Redeemer Queen! That's new. Never in all my years have I heard anything like that. Well, child, enough joking. Get out of my sight, or I'm afraid I might decide to keep you here forever as my fool.
Do you think she took my words to heart?
Probably.
That would be great.
Cool. Good job, Ember.
I told you to get out! I don't want to hear your squeaky voice again!
Alright. Where do we start? Did Areelu really create me? She certainly had a hand in your present state of existence. Lady Vorlesh designed the Worldwound, a magical phenomenon of unfathomable power. To seal it, we require a key that was just as strong and unique. Simply put, we required a champion, and she chose you. Both your powers and that wound on your chest were the result of her experiments when she infused your soul with the essence of the abyss. Of course, you remember none of that. Everything was done in secret. Even the power granted to you was purified to the extent that it was possible so that you would not guess its source ahead of time. In trial after trial, we watched your will be tempered, and when the time came, we started filling you with the energies of Nahrindian crystals. These energies are necessary for the task at hand. Everything that's happened to you was part of my intrigue. I was going to summon you and reveal the truth when the time was right. Instead, you have followed your queen's orders and arrived here early. One could only hope that you were prepared to accept the truth. Everything has its price, says Aurelu quickly. Your wound was, in essence, the flip side of all my experiments. There was a reason why we required a true champion, not merely a living tool whom we could fling into the flames of the Worldwound and close it like any lesser rift. I think you should know that. Nocticula makes a sudden gesture, cutting Aurelu off. Don't be too hasty. We have burdened her with enough revelations for now. Give her time to become accustomed to the truth about herself, then you can share all the details. I killed Willidus, your court mage. Nocticula shows no sign of sadness. I am aware of this, of course. It is lamentable in a way, since his fear of me was strong enough to make him impeccably loyal. However, his death is but a single move in a much larger game. In games like this, losing a few pawns is unavoidable. I'm gonna go with this one. There are some in your city who must be condemned for breaking the laws of the Abyss, as well as the Cosmic Order. You must judge them. You don't say. And why do you concern yourself with these laws? What gives you the right to tell me whom to judge? Nocticula's tone is calm, but looking into her eyes is like peering into the crater of a smouldering volcano. I am an Aeon. Look into my eyes and you will understand. You stare into Nocticula's eyes, your gaze is clashing like steel meeting steel. She is silent, but you know that she sees in the endless depths of the cosmos behind your eyes, vivid nebula clouds, the tails of meteors streaking past and the stars hanging in nothingness. Nocticula blinks as if awakened from a dream and briefly brings her fingertips to her temple. Well, Aeon, there are times when even the ruler of Elutionera is in need of entertainment. I have never obeyed any laws or rules before, but why not try it now? Let's have a trial. I'd love to see an Aeon try to establish order among chaos. Okay. I want to know more about you first, though. Recounting my whole story would take longer than your brief mortal life allows. The list of demon lords I've slain is endless on its own, as is the number of islands under my rule. And that's just the past. There's also my future. Okay, how did you become a demon lord? Bear in mind that I have always been unique, ever since I was born. I was the first succubus of the Abyss, the perfect specimen of my race. I had been enjoying my youth, sharing it with my brother and lover, until the hungry gaze of the demon lord Nahrindri fell upon me. That greedy tyrant saw me as a jewel to be added to his treasure hoard. He tried to abduct me. I knew I had no chance of defeating a demon lord. In that moment, I was not thinking at all. I was fighting for my freedom. When it was all over, Nahrindri was dead. I eviscerated him, and for many days afterwards, blood spewed from his open carcass. First his body turned to stone, and then his blood, which had been flowing like a stream, began to crystallize into massive purple glaciers. Now do you see why they are called Nahrindrian crystals? Perhaps they should be called Nocticulan crystals, because as Nahrindri's blood crystallized, so too did my understanding of my power. Soon after, I began my campaign of conquest. I was cunning and swift, and the demon lords themselves trembled before me, knowing I could take their very lives. Only when all of the Abyss spoke my name with terror and reverence did I decide that I had killed enough. I had a realm, I had power I no longer shared with my brother, I had servants, and most importantly, I had safety. No one has ever repeated old Narindri's mistakes. No one has tried to make me their slave. Are the Midnight Isles really corpses of slain demon lords? Yes, my realm is quite literally built on the bones of my slain enemies. Ironic, isn't it? How did you turn the dead demon lords into islands? Nocticula responds with a mocking smile. Surely you don't expect me to reveal the secret to you. There is no need for mortals to learn the weaknesses of demon lords. All I can say is that everything started with my desire for revenge. After I had dealt with Narindri, I was furious at the thought of that vile, lecherous wretch teleporting over to Rift of Repose, where he could turn into stone and stay there to rot for the remainder of eternity. I wanted to trample his foul corpse to keep his bloodied body within my sight forever. I yearned to display my glorious trophy to all of the Abyss, and that's when my power first manifested. I studied my newfound abilities and learned how to use them. Before long, I possessed not just one island, but an entire archipelago. What do you plan to do next? Subdue all the Abyss? Possibly. Or perhaps I have something grander in mind. The Abyss? Who cares about the Abyss? Nocticula's full-throated laughter rings out like a challenge to the entire world. I have no more questions. I want to ask you about the other powerful denizens of the Abyss. Are you interested in one of my servants, or do you wish for me to tell you something about your enemies? What's your relationship with Areelu? She works for me, isn't it obvious? Lady Vorlesh is very talented. She may be the most brilliant and capable mind ever to come from your plane. And the guile she used to betray one demon lord master after another impressed me so much I offered her the position of my advisor on matters of magic. Naturally, the esteemed Lord Goat and Lord Locust don't know a thing about the betrayal of their faithful lackey, Lady Vorlesh. I plan to keep it a secret for a while longer. Betrayal is too strong a word. I opened the path to Golarion for those two, and I told them how to extract power from the Narindian crystals. That will suffice. Doesn't it bother you that Areelu serves another master? Nocticula smiles deviously. I'm not prone to jealousy. Let Deskari think Lady Vorlesh serves him still. His bug brain seems incapable of sensing betrayal. As for Baphomet, he, like any talented liar, is most vulnerable when he's trying to deceive someone else. He was so pleased to have fooled Deskari that he became blind to the treachery that was happening right under his snout. In truth, Lady Vorlesh's loyalty is mine alone. I doubt that. Loyalty is for fools, shared interest. That's what the rational minds rely upon. That and fear. No one in their right mind would oppose the Lady of Shadow. Uh-huh. I see. I get the feeling that Areelu is playing another angle here. How did Areelu become your servant? When the Worldwound first opened, it only led to Deskari's realm. Then there was another, more powerful breach. The wound expanded, and its paths now passed through my realm, and Baphomet's as well. Before long, all sorts of interlopers had heard about the power contained within the crystals here, and the Midnight Isles were soon overrun with agents from my new neighbours. They flouted my embargo, burrowing greedily into my rock, stealing my crystals. The main culprit was one Areelu Vorlesh. She was the one who discovered the energies of the Narindian crystals. I captured her, was about to carry out her agonizing execution when Lady Vorlesh offered me something I desired even more than her death. She entered my service, and her main task since then has been to close the Worldwound. Once it is sealed, my realm will once again be cut off from those of Baphomet and Deskari, and their slaves will no longer be able to infiltrate my lands with such ease. Aha! So now we have Nocticula's goal. So Areelu opens the portal for Deskari and Deskari, and partially Baphomet later, but mainly for Deskari. Then, and the reasons behind that are a little bit uncertain, but then Nocticula is like, hey, I don't really want this Worldwound here in my realm, everyone can get in, and now she wants to shut it. This explains why she's on our side for this situation, so a shared interest. Cool. Do you remember the elven archmage who served you thousands of years ago? He's still alive. We know each other. Really? He was well past his youth back then, and now, just how old is he? Immortals even live that long? Well, apart from your immortal Aslanti. Say hello to him on behalf of the Lady in Shadow, and tell him that the one who replaced him has disappointed me immensely with his incompetence. No matter how hard he tried, he could never live up to my magnificent elf. You know, you've managed to surprise me. A rare occurrence for someone who knows just about everything. Maybe we shouldn't have told her that he was alive. Anyway, with a bat of her eyelashes, Nocticula sends you a piercing gaze, one that feels like it's delving into the deepest corners of your soul. Are Baphomet and Deskari your allies? The goat and the locust? Allies is too strong a word for our relationship. Our connection was forged by circumstance, not out of a desire to deal with each other. When the Worldwound opened, it tied your realm to our realms. I did not join my armies with theirs, but I was forced into making peace with them so as not to get bogged down in a tiring and distracting war. If I had the opportunity, I would have met them on my terms and expanded my territories at their expense. Nocticula indulges herself with a thin smile. Unfortunately, this is not currently possible. By the way, one of them came to me with an offer of an atrocious alliance that involved conceiving little ones together. I'm still contemplating the specifics of my refusal. It needs to be clear and unambiguous. Her ensuring laughter is deep and musical, almost enchanting. Okay. Your soul is surrounded by luminescence. What laws of the abyss have you broken, criminal scum? Nocticula arches a thin eyebrow. You think you can interrogate me in my own city? Brave, but foolish. Alright, let's do judging. Nocticula wags one of her slim fingers. Not so fast, I have my conditions. First, I will be the one who passes the sentence. Naturally, I will listen to your opinion, but I won't allow you to ruin my fun. Second, out of all of Elutionera, you may choose only 3 culprits, no more. Finally, you must judge them immediately, as any game that drags on too long will become a chore. Are you prepared to give me the names? Yes. We're not going to choose Areelu, because that's going to lead us nowhere. I choose Zeklex. This name means nothing to me, but I accept your choice. Is there anyone else? Zara? Zara, I know of her and her experiments. Let us see what she can tell us. Is there anyone else? Mylara. One of the airship captains. I've heard some interesting things. It would be amusing to have a look at her. Is there anyone else? I thought you said I was only allowed 3. Areelu Vorlesh. Nocticula permits herself a chuckle. Of course, what other name could you have possibly called? Rein in your bloodlust, Aeon. Lady Vorlesh is not one of my subjects. Besides, I have my own plans for her future. Areelu sighs, giving you a condescending look as if you were a child throwing a tantrum. You have not fully understood what it means to be an Aeon, yet you have the nerve to demand answers of anyone you meet. How very mortal of you. Okay, so they left that one in there so you could be like, I want a little bit of extra dialogue. Cool. I've said all the names, let the trial begin. I failed to see anything interesting in all this, so I shall take my leave. She turns to you. If you were hoping to see justice meted out in Elutionera, as it was in Dresden, prepare to be disappointed. Well, Aeon, entertain me. Nocticula observes the woman in front of her with an expression of mild curiosity. Sorceress Mylara of Absalom, fearless aeronaut. What is your crime against Elutionera? Only that I follow an unwritten set of rules, my lady. I abide by the aeronaut's code. Mylara's voice trembles. Will you condemn me for this? Aeronauts have a code of conduct? I did not know that, but you said it was an unwritten set of rules. I'm trying to find a better angle, but I don't think there is one. I think this might be it. If this code is not binding, why follow it? Here in the Abyss, you are free to do whatever you want. No one will judge you. Why cling to useless rules? The sorceress squares her shoulders and looks Nocticula straight in the eye. I cannot betray the aeronaut's code, my lady. It would be like betraying myself. Without the code, I would be a ship without a rudder. I'd be at the mercies of the winds. With no set course or purpose, I would be lost. Nocticula turns to you. Why do you think people are so afraid of freedom? Don't you find it interesting they impose all sorts of restrictions on themselves just to avoid the experience of being free? It's a stupid way to live, in my opinion. but I'm not convinced it's a crime. Did you know she's cursed, Aeon? She is doomed to bring death and destruction wherever she goes, yet she continues to cling to her notion of goodness. An informal code of conduct is not a law. Curse could be useful. Send her to those who send those who displease you to her ship and let fate deal with them. No, she must abandon the code of the aeronaut. If she continues to abide by these rules, she must be banished from Elutionera. This woman's scruples do not bother me. In fact, I find them quite interesting. She tries so hard to follow her principles despite the consequences of her curse. Besides, I find her stories entertaining. When I listen to her adventures, I try to predict all the terrible things that will happen. Her curse manifests itself in so many ways. Nocticula smiles at the sorceress. Go to your ship, poor wanderer. I'm sure you'll continue to entertain me. The sorceress looks miserable, but she bows. As you wish, my lady. Is there something you wish to say, Aeon? You didn't listen to me. You did the opposite of what I said. Nocticula gives you a gentle smile. I allowed 3 trials, but I never said I'd let you make the decisions for me. I trust your wisdom, dear Aeon. I love that she's got that one word and she's like, every single conversation, I'm going to fit it in there. Just to be like, Aeon, if that's what you want to call yourself, Aeon. You know, Aeon. It's just kind of a little dig. Anyway, in return, you must trust my judgment. After all, I am the ruler of Elutionera. She turns to you. This trial is over, Aeon. I hope the next one will be more interesting. Zara and her son are ushered forward. Nocticula looks at Zorgis, who is frozen in terror beside his mother, then turns her attention to Zara. I wonder whether this is a better angle. Absolutely not. Okay, cool. So Zara, daughter of Ishar, the Aeon accuses you of going against creation and making something that shouldn't exist. Now I wonder what that could be. Zara quails beneath Nocticula's gaze, but she tries not to show her fear. She stares down at the floor defiantly. This Aeon imposter doesn't know what she's talking about. For many years I've conducted experiments on my children. Only Zorgis was strong enough to survive. He's proof that Quiploth and demon blood can be crossed successfully. Really? A Quiploth and a demon? Demons defeated these creatures a long time ago. Their abyss is ours by right of conquest. So what's the point of your experiments? Are you crossbreeding a stronger species with a weaker one? Not at all, my lady. Demons have not conquered all of the abyss. There are places where even we cannot go, yet Quiploths can move through them freely. As long as such places exist, we cannot truly call ourselves the masters of the abyss. However, my creation will change that. Zorgis is not just an amusing experiment. He is a weapon. He will protect us from the dangerous enemies that lurk in these hidden places. He is growing stronger and more powerful with every passing day. Nocticula turns to you, a faint smile playing on her lips. Did you hear that? It seems that without little Zorgis, I'll be left unprotected from the Quiploths. Do you want me to perish in the jaws of these terrible creatures, Aeon? Okay. We're gonna go with 1, but I will execute this creature. It wasn't quite what I was going with, but okay. The crossbreeding of a Quiploth and a demon violates the laws of creation. With the Lady of Elutionera's permission, I will execute this creature. Seems a little out of character for us, but I also think it's the Aeon answer. Nocticula considers your words. Well, I've made up my mind. Aeon, you were convincing, but not convincing enough. Okay, yes. So she's going to ignore everything that we say, but at least our Aeon Sky buddy will be happy. So we don't actually have to go around murdering people. Zara, you may continue your experiments. Be interested to discover what lurks in the depths of Ishar, although I hope the boy comes back with stories of treasure, not Quiploths. Yes, my lady. Zorgis will serve you faithfully, just as I do. This trial is over, Aeon. I hope the next one will be more interesting. And finally, we have Zeklex, the arena steward. Now this one, she's gotta deal with him because, you know, he's quite clearly, you know, following more devilish impulses. Zeklex, the arena steward, a tiefling who is too honest for this plane, and who appreciates a fair fight. You're rather unique. I doubt there are many who share your views, even on Golarion. Is that a reason to punish you? Zeklex bows his head. I'm at your mercy, my lady, but if you think that fair fights are boring, I must respectfully disagree. I pick opponents carefully, and I'm always on the lookout for a new talent. A fair fight is unpredictable. The underdog can always defeat the champion. Isn't that what keeps the audience on the edge of their seats? The unpredictability of the fights, the uncertainty of the betting table, and the desire to guess the winner, that's what keeps the crowds entertained. Your words make sense, Tiefling, though I do find you unusual. Here in the Abyss, it is strange to meet anyone who wishes for the triumph of honesty. But I find it amusing that someone like you has managed to survive in my city. Bravo! Not everyone could do what you have done. But how much longer will you remain alive? That is what interests me. Perhaps the Aeon should execute you. What do the laws of creation say, Aeon? Well, Zeklex is guilty of violating the laws of the Abyss. He must be banished. You can be so heartless sometimes, Nocticula smiles. Well, cold-hearted Aeon, you've had your say, but this tiefling's convinced me. The only honest creature among liars. How unpredictable. Perhaps I'll make a bet, Steward, on how much longer you'll live. It's going to be very entertaining. Zeklex grows pale, but you can see determination in his eyes. I won't let you down, my lady. I always provide you with the very best entertainment. Well, Aeon, that was boring. I'm tired of all these rules. They're so restrictive. I tried to make the trials more entertaining, but I think I've had enough. I don't want to do this anymore. You're free to go. So the Reflection's probably unhappy with us. But maybe they are. Maybe it's happy with us, or maybe it's unhappy. I'm not entirely sure. Also, hello. I wish to inform you of treason. Ooh. Let's see. Is that so? Who is it you've decided to inform on, and more importantly, how did you learn of these traitors, and how credible are these accusations? Sure, I'm gonna sell these guys out. It sounds that, like, Nocticula and us are on the same page. You know, we both want to close the Worldwound. She might be a demon lord, but to be honest, her objective is the same as ours, so what does it matter? Chimera is researching Narindian crystals in secret. Perhaps she is planning to overthrow you. A small smile appears on Nocticula's lips. How nice of you to warn me. I'm impressed. I do wonder, however, did you really think I was unaware of this, or did you merely want to demonstrate your loyalty? Either way, I appreciate you telling me. I will take this as proof I can rely on you. Nocticula's expression remains courteous, but her voice now carries a hint of disapproval. It's unfortunate that while you did uncover her devious scheme, you still gave her the knowledge she sought. It would have been wiser to keep her in the dark. I'll have to keep a closer eye on her from now on. Then again, the ruler of Evolutionera trails off, weariness creeping into her voice. It's all so trivial. Mining Narindian crystals is a surefire way to sink the island the crystals are on to the bottom of Ishar. I assume you understand why all who attempt to procure them on Alanithia were executed. At least you didn't tell Chimera about the mines you found. The last thing I need is the ardent dream burrowing under my capital. Why do you still tolerate Chimera? Someone has to deal with trivial matters. Chimera's betrayal was assured the moment I made her my favourite, just as Zephorian's before her. The second always dreams of rising to be the first. I know the feeling well. A friend of mine, the storyteller, has peered into the future. In its vision, Hepsimera was sending demons after you. The demons were strengthened by Narindian crystals. A hint of dangerous excitement creeps into her voice. You are a font of knowledge, my dear guest. Let's just say I am not surprised by her appetites. The ambitions of that brat, or her lecherous goat of a sire, were bound to surface sooner or later, but your warning will encourage me to keep a closer eye on her. You could have gone to Hepsimera with this and received payment for your silence. This foresight must not go unrewarded. Received secret ingredient? That's all I wanted to say. What exactly are you offering me? I'm offering you the chance to become my weapon. Your enemies are a thorn in my side as well as yours. What's more, I've never schemed against Golarion, nor have my warriors taken part in the conquest of your plane, at least not at my behest. There is no cause for enmity between us. Why would you want to close the wound? When the Worldwound opened, I was pleased. My realm was now connected to another plane. I wanted to make it into a crossroads of worlds, a place where demons, devils, and even angels could meet. The wound was a convenient path along which I could advance my ideas, but the Midnight Isles were not the only realm that had been linked to Golarion through the wound. Deskari and Baphomet now also had a way from their realms into your plane. Their servants flooded my islands and spread out across them like a plague of locusts, killing guests who were under my protection, questioning my rule. They were driven by their lust to conquer and enslave, whether on Golarion or in another abyssal realm. I was forced to shift my focus and express my discontent. Eventually, atop the bones of our servants, we reached an accord. I would let their armies pass and they would comply with my wishes while on my islands. Of course, the accord is polite fiction. Both the Deskaris and the Baphomets are attempting to amass their power and influence in Lucianira to overthrow me. When they think I'm not watching, they break my taboos and revel in their own impudence. And worst of all, Lady Vorlesh told them about the Narindian crystals. They realise what kind of power the crystals hold, and now they are determined to mine every last deposit hidden within my islands. And once an island loses its crystals, it becomes nothing but a flotsam slowly sinking into the dark waters of Ishar. With every lost island, my power is diminished. I could start a war and kill the plunderers, but a major conflict would hinder some of my other plans, so instead I will teach my neighbours a lesson by orchestrating their ignominious defeat at the hands of a mortal. What do I gain by serving you? A reasonable question. One must always serve one's own interests. Well, rest assured that you will be adequately rewarded. I will give you gifts befitting your ambitions, and my patronage, which you can certainly count on, will prove more valuable than any enchanted trinkets you could dream up. If you're so powerful, why do you need me? If I were to make a move myself, it would start a war. Not that I'm afraid of doing so, but it would hamper my more important plans. Baphomet and Deskari could never best me, but they could sow enough chaos and spill enough blood that visitors from other planes would shudder at the mention of a Lucianira. No, I will wage war on my own terms in the shadows. I will remain unseen until I drive my blade into my enemy's back. And since Galfrey happened to send you into my realm, you have the honour of becoming my blade, mortal. Be glad you're wielded by skillful hands. How exactly do you plan to close the Worldwound? She rolls her eyes. It's a complicated magical process. You'll receive precise instructions once you capture the Threshold Fortress on Golarion. There, at the exact spot where Lady Vorlesh opened the Worldwound, you'll be able to close it. But first, you'll have to crush the Guardians of the Threshold, and their forces are growing by the day. Hepzibah, Baphomet's daughter, is mining a large number of Narindian crystals in my realm. These crystals are a secret weapon. No army on Golarion can stand against them. You must stop Hepzibah. If you do not, your world will fall and my plans will suffer significant harm. Hepzibah is currently on another island far from here. The route to that place is plagued by pirates, monsters, tempests, and other more terrifying dangers. Have you heard of the living bubbles of frozen time that swallow airships when the ships reach their port? The crews discover that they've been gone for hundreds of years. That is not the strangest occurrence you could encounter on your journey, and I'm willing to provide you with a decent ship and an experienced crew. I'm gonna become an airship pilot with like a crew? This was unexpected. If you kill Hepzibah, it will stop her sinking any more of my islands, but without giving Baphomet cause to declare war on me. Nocticula casts a sidelong glance at Areelu. Then again, I'm not offering you anything new, as you are already enjoying my favour, Commander. Your companion is a succubus, and I'm the succubus queen. This demon follows you around only because I allow it. Tell me, Areelu, are you grateful that I'm not forbidding you from travelling with the commander and fighting against your own kind? The succubus reluctantly lowers her head. You are incredibly generous, Our Lady in Shadow. Why is it so important to kill Hepzibah? Deskari and Baphomet won't just stand there and watch you close the Worldwound. They'll send their armies after you, so you'll need an army of your own, and that's something the Crusaders won't have for long. Hepzibah is mining more and more Narindian crystals to empower her forces when she attacks Golarion. If you don't stop her, the Crusader resistance will be crushed, and the ranks of the demons pouring through the Worldwound into your world will multiply 100-fold. You were sent here to cut off the demon army supply of Narindian crystals, weren't you? That's exactly what you're going to accomplish. I will consider your offer, Lady in Shadow. Because I will, because it seems like the best offer I have. And accept it, I'm sure. Respect your caution and won't force you into submission. We all stand to gain if you do my bidding of your own volition. A glimmer of approval dances in Nocticula's eyes. An interesting destiny lies before you, mortal. You will rise to great heights and play a part in events of titanic proportions. Many would give their life for a chance to tread such a path. Hepzibah visits Lucianira every now and again, but her true lair is far from here. She hides on the island of Golarion, to the northwest of my archipelago. There lies her secret fortress. In the deep mines, her slaves dig Narindian crystals for the invading army she plans to bring to Golarion. I will give you a magnificent airship and an experienced crew to take you there. It'll be a long and perilous journey. Take some time to prepare. If I'm to depart for Golarion, your guards must watch over my camp in the Nexus and all who are residing there. I will send my assassins to ensure that no harm comes to your entourage. Be grateful for my patronage, mortal. I have some other business in Lucianira. Ooh, okay. Nocticula casts a piercing glance at the spot where Areelu was but moments ago, then stops you with a commanding gesture. There's one more thing we must discuss, the Lexicon of Paradox, Lady Vorlesh's magical treatise that contains many secrets of the Worldwound. You and my servant, Lady Vorlesh, were just talking about the Lexicon of Paradox. For many years it has remained split in half, harmless. But what was once divided can be made whole again. Who knows what power the book could impart to its owner? What if they expanded the Worldwound even further or connect it to other planes? Not a chance. The Lexicon of Paradox has caused more than enough trouble already. You possess the first half of the book. Find the other one and bring them both to me. I will reward you handsomely. Giving the book to my keeping will also protect Golarion from suffering a second Worldwound disaster. Lexicon of Paradox will be much safer under my watchful eye than in your travel bags, wouldn't you agree? I see, but we gave the other half to the Queen. This is why there's a major split in what happens, because we have given it to the Queen, therefore we don't have it at this point, so we can't give it to Nocticula. Interesting. So we've already come across in the Worldwound, in the last 2 episodes, 2 events which we have done something previously that split the timeline. So the first one was the crystal knife, the second one is the lexicon. Why do you need this book? One Worldwound alone has been enough of a nuisance for me. I want to ensure that some future mage leafing through this book doesn't link the realm to another plane. Link my realm to another plane. So why wouldn't we just destroy the book? As in one half of it. If you need both halves to make it work, why wouldn't you just destroy one? It's interesting. I'll consider your offer. The reward will not disappoint you, I promise. This dangerous knowledge ought to be locked up securely. I won't keep you any longer. I have other business. Okay. Right. We're going to head down here as a group. And then we are going to end the episode here. Thank you for watching. Next time we're going to level up, go speak to our Aeon friend, and then maybe go to Hepzibah. We'll see. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.